Okay, start.
Hi everyone, my name is Kate. On my right is Flora and on my left is Deborah. Today our group will discuss the relative grading system. Since grading is a very sensitive issue among university students, the relative grading system has been talked whether we should maintain it or not. As you see here, according to the survey of students in English Language Education Department, 60% of students think that there are many disadvantages of relative grading system. Today we have two people who have different opinions about the relative grading system. Okay, first, Deborah, what do you think about the relative grading system?
Relative grading system has problems. Firstly, it invades professors' right to judge each student's grading, and secondly, the result of relative grading system shows that it doesn't fulfill the purpose of education because it only strengthens competition.
All systems have good points and bad points. That Deborah mentioned are only small things. Relative grading system is the best solution in grading system.
I see. Then what causes this problem?
It invades professors' right to judge each student's grade. In my opinion, it itself is a problem. But further, it also causes another problem. Most of professors cannot help but over-concentrate on distinction of grades. And because of that, most of professors feel that it is very hard to find out what must be supplied for a better class, because most of professors have bureaucratic work, and it is not effective system because it is just one-sided decision without students' approval. It is very difficult to motivate students, and without motivation, it is very difficult to improve students' study, because it only strengthens competition.
Right. Decisions without students' agreement may cause problems, especially with sensitive issues. However, relative grading system itself may have several benefits. What are they?
Our society changes from cooperation society to competition society by applying a market economy concept of competition society into education. Relative grading system has also changed from absolute grading system to relative grading system. School is the course of progressing to the society. We can learn how to survive in the school and society from relative grading system.
I see your point. Through competition, students might learn how to survive, but it does not mean that students will improve their quality of study, because students only learn the way how to survive. For example, most of students read books just for quiz, and it means that they are not readers, they are just examinees. And also it invades professors' right.
Yeah, Deborah just mentioned about invasion of professors' rights. In terms of it, what kind of opinion do you have?
I think it is not invading professors' rights. Still, it is necessary evil. When effort grading system existed, sometimes professors gave students too much A+ because they want to make their classes too more attractive. I researched Korean university students who attend some class as an absolute grading system existed. Then, as you can see, 63% students replied they had grade A, and 34% students had grade B, and the others had band C. If all students have grade and they apply companies or try to get job, maybe company officers cannot decide good decision.
Now, let's talk about possible future effects of the problem. What kind of effects can you think of?
If this relative grading system continues, it will degrade the phase of development and it will degrade purpose of education. Because in this relative grading system, all instructors cannot help but make fixed portion, 20% or 30%, fixed portion of failures. Although students are not bad, and also it will protect students from sharing knowledge because students will study only for their grading, and moreover, cooperation for studying will disappear gradually, and students cannot get a grade deserve them when they have very little or they have no big differences. For example, one of my friends complained to me that she got C grade because of just 2 wrong answers among 60 questions. But I don't think that 48 right answers and 50 right answers don't have any difference.
If we throw relative grading system away, it brings many losses. There will have some examples, and I use it. There was that one has perfect score, and the other has only two wrong problems. Even though they study very hard, but they are still different. They have big gap between them. If you want to succeed, you should compete other people, so you have to study more hard.
I see. You mean that there are still differences between them. Okay then, I believe both of you guys agree with the purpose of grading system is to help students make a big process in study. And in some extent, there are some problems of relative grading system. Then how can we solve this problem?
I have some ideas of solutions. Let professors give a right to choose grading system. Its advantage is to admit rights of professors in grading system.
In the case, who will choose relative grading system? Most of professors have troubles in relative grading system, and most of them will choose absolute grading system. So, in my opinion, it is much better to abolish relative grading system and just change system from relative grading system to absolute grading system. And in the case, all instructors don't have to classify their students into superior ones and inferior ones, and students can share their knowledge.
I'm convinced relative grading system reduce cheating. If we remove relative grading system, number of cheatings will be increased because they think they don't have to compete each other, so they can even cooperate solve the problems in the exam. knowledge share would be occurred in examination. I'd like to make people prepare from problems of relative grading system instead of creating new system. Then how about negotiating grades with students? There are a few complaints for students or professors.
It doesn't matter whom you will give a right to choose. It doesn't matter they are students or they are professors, because both of them will choose the absolute grading system if they have right to choose. Therefore, to block confidence generated from gap between conceptive and system, it would much better to change the system or abolish the relative grading system.
Alright. Flora believes that we have to give the professor to right choose the system, grading system, and also and Deborah thinks that we need to make a new regulation about it. Well, I believe both of your opinions are very nice. So why don't we combine the suggestions? So we can make a new system and make the professor give the right to give the students a grade as they like, but make a regulation to screen the professor, not to give students all A+. Well, this is pretty much about our debate. Thank you for giving us nice, wonderful opinions, and thank you for listening.
Okay.